Hey, I'm officially reopening this channel to talk about something. One of the things I love the most, Japanese movies. As you could already tell, I've already made a music video that was featuring Mabaroshi by Koreda. It was in, I believe, a music video that I've edited a couple years ago. Song The Tiny Hearts of Jan Bells 2 by Paradigm Shift. I know what I'll say sounds a bit overwhelming, but I need to make this video. I've also had many problems in these past couple of months with my microphone that couldn't connect on the PC. You know, I'm kind of all over the place. My sleep is a bit messed up. As well as a series of videos which I will present to you, Japanese films or animated Japanese movies. And I will call it Akumaku no Tsukishisa, which basically means beauty in pellicules or beauty of thin film. This series will consist of me talking about or presenting to you Japanese films you don't necessarily know, or films that are kind of famous. For this video, there is one I would like to present to you. Oh, sorry, I had to take out my headphones. Anyways, this is a movie by Isao Yukisada, which is called Parade. The movie starts with 4 roommates, Ryosuke, Kotomi, Mirai, and Naoki, which are 4 roommates. The movie contains 4 chapters for each characters. Each characters you discover all their pros and cons, which means like you kind of discover these 4 roommates are humans. Ryosuke, for example, starts off being a student that gets kind of bored with his roommate called Kotomi, and these 2 roommates often hang out together. And Ryosuke is kind of a strange person because he likes a girl that is dating his best friend, and he starts to kind of build up feelings for her. And one day he chooses to go to her place, and they finally meet up, and she welcomes him as he walks by her house, then lay on the couch, and she receives a call with her boyfriend, which is his best friend. You know, I've been doing my thing, blah, blah, blah. Then Ryosuke starts to confess to her about his feelings, and they end up when they're done doing it, he then starts to tell her about all of his life and starts to tell her how desperate he is, how messed up his life is, stuff like this, and he starts to cry in front of her. Her brother comes in the room and be like, what the hell is going on? Like, what are you doing in my sister's room, and why the fuck are you crying? So then, one thing I also didn't mention is that a girl, right, being on the ground of their hallway crying about something, they get back from pachinko, if I remember well, or from a restaurant. I'm currently editing the video, and while I was getting the clips, I just noticed we're just going into a bookstore. So, and they see a guy coming out of his place, which they think is being something about like kind of having children as prostitutes. It's enough about them. That gives you the very first part of the movie, and it pretty much starts off with Ryosuke having his own chapter. His chapter just gives out his age, the situation or place of work, and his name. We then switch up to chapter 2 with Kotomi. That is just living her life, you know. Well, turn out she has a boyfriend. When this person's done working, she is seeing him. The problem with this person is that this guy basically just calls her when he's done working for a couple of days. They don't often see each other, and they just have sex. This is a girl that doesn't have a job, that stays at home all day binging series, Japanese romance series, you know what I mean? So yeah, she kind of likes that. She then wakes up and meets this guy called Satoru. He meets each roommates. So they all wake up, then like, who the hell is this guy? Kotomi appears, and well, they get along with each other. They talk about life, they you know, they kind of get along with each other, and she asks him if she could go to, you know, I think Pachiko play or something. And so they hang out together because Ryosuke, you know, he's kind of busy getting along with his own girl, you know what I'm talking about? And the chapter ends. Mirai is the next chapter. She is a pretty destroyed woman, and she gets along with this guy Satoru, and they get very close. I mean, she goes in a bar with him, and then Satoru gets her to the place he used to sleep at, kind of like carousel, before kind of, you know, getting along with all of them, being one of the roommates. They kind of open up to each other. Satoru appears to be a gay person that prostitutes himself, sells his body to get to a need of money.
うちに来る前どこで寝泊まりしてたの？
いろいろサウナとか友達の家とか、あとね
お客の部屋とか。
そう
Satoru also having his problems, and Mirai not really knowing which direction she's going. So that's kind of the chapter for this. Also, I don't know, and I don't quite remember which chapter it was. They then infiltrate and get to see what's happening behind this closed door. They then discover that it's just some sort of fortune teller. What Ryosuke did is that he infiltrates this place and signs up as his friend Naoki. The fortune teller gets it. He then tells him Naoki is, you know, struggling with his own things, and he then proceeds to tell Ryosuke, yeah, dog, I know it's not you, man. You know, you're not that guy. A fortune teller was basically right. Proceeds to go at this house and tell him, yeah, guys, it's just, you know, it's just a fortune teller. And what I forgot to tell you guys is that since the beginning of this movie, you will notice that on the TV, there's killings of women every day. So each day and each day and each day, there's a new woman that are getting killed near the place they're living. It happens almost every night, which is kind of weird because Mirai, she goes to a bar pretty much every night with Satoru or by herself or with Naoki. And Naoki appears to be a guy that is also miserable, that hangs out with his ex in this bar with Mirai, and they get along with each other. But it starts off with Naoki that is willing to discover the truth about Satoru, because he's very weird. I mean, there's something off about this guy, and I think I will let you watch this part because it's kind of wild. He just enters a house which he sees a woman getting off, you know, she's leaving, and forces the entry to then getting into this girl's room and looking at it, her picture, and stroking off to it. Yeah. It's weird. Naoki is basically just watching this guy living his life for a day, and you could definitely see he's off. He's weird. He's a very weird guy. We don't know anything about him, and Naoki really thinks he's just a guy that maybe, you know, ran out of his home because he's very young. He's about 18 or something. He doesn't know what he's doing with his life, and I mean, he's stroking off to random people. Like, what are we doing? He then introduces him to his job, and he starts like to speak in English on the phone and stuff.
Hi, Sean.
Hello, Naoki?
Yes, it's Naoki. How's it going, Sean?
But this movie, we're gonna just talk about how, you know, this movie impacts, as in what's the idea behind this movie and why was it made. Let's talk about this. So, I think this movie, what's so beautiful about it is that it mentions that nobody's perfect and that friendships are not so complicated. Love is complicated, not friendships. friendships never really is when you think about it. It's just about accepting someone for who they are, as long as they accept you for who you are. And the very end of this movie kind of reflects that. I don't think I can talk to you about the end yet. I don't think I can tell you about the end. I think this channel is gonna be anti-spoilers. I don't want to spoil anyone that are kind of interested in this movie, that kind of want to follow the plot, because that's just, you know, a resume of the movie. Anyways, the complexity and yet the simplicity of these friendships is intriguing, because it just shows you the dark side of everyone, that even Mirai, Naoki, Ryosuke, Kotomi, they're all pretty up. You know, he talked about it. Satoru, he's kind of he's a mess too, so they're all kind of messy. And you know, they're not really honest with each other. Sometimes they talk behind their backs. That's what you will also notice in this movie, but that's the beauty of it. It shows you that the human relationships are so hard and so complex, yet so easy and so pure, that it's almost as beautiful as the art that was made on this movie. I think the director kind of did a great job of kind of picturing this idea of what real friendships or relationships should be like. It's just touching, and it's also talking about grieving the past, about grieving the present. Also, everyone kind of moves on and do what they do with their lives, and I find it kind of beautiful, to put it that way. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that will make you want to watch this movie as much as it did to me. It meant a lot to me to make this first video of this series. I hope you all will enjoy it. And that was your host, Abel the Man. See you next time, man. Peace out.